Now, welcome to another re-review of Season 1 of The Mandalorian. This time it is Chapter 8, Redemption. Alright, let's get right to it.
Alright, big episode, lots to cover. We did leave off with Gideon securing Grogu and Mando and company trapped in a bar. We start out with the infamous scout trooper scene. They are bringing in Grogu. They stop outside of town some ways because there's a little bit of a fuss going on in town.
We're waiting for clearance to come in, and Gideon is killing people, and they're kind of making jokes about it, and punching Grogu, and fun stuff.
But we're going to just gloss right over that. IG-11 shows up, unannounced, then announcing himself as Grogu's nanny. He's his nurse droid. And then he proceeds to kill the scout troopers, rescue Grogu, and get on a bike and head to town. Back at the bar, the Imperials are setting up an E-web as Mando and group try to figure out how to escape. They want to get into the sewers to go after aid from the Mandalorians down there, the covert. Mm-hmm. But the grate proves too much for them.
That is it's a tough grate.
It is.
It kind of was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Gideon decides it's time for him to do a great villain speech, and he identifies by name Cara Dune. What she's done in the past, and what this E-web did to troops that she's seen in the past, where she's from. He knows a lot. He identifies Din Djarin by name.
Yeah, even though he hasn't heard that name in a long time.
Yep. And then he identifies Greef by name, calling him the disgraced former magistrate. Yep. He knows seemingly everything about them and says, hey, come out by nightfall or else I'll kill you, because right now I want you alive, because right now you have value. Because
they still don't have Grogu, even though they have Grogu. But they don't have Grogu.
But they don't know they don't have Grogu.
I don't know who knows what. It's kind of disorienting in this episode, because if they have Grogu, you would think Gideon would know that, but then he doesn't, and then IG-11 shows up, and then there's kind of a long delay between him showing up and then riding into town.
I have no idea how to explain all that.
Yeah.
But we get a flashback next, because Mando says, oh, hey, I know who that is out there. That is Moff Gideon. And I know it's Moff Gideon because he knows my name. And I haven't heard that name spoken since I was a child. Because Moff Gideon was an ISB officer during the Purge, which would be the only place that Mando's name would be on record, on Mandalore.
Yes.
But we do see the flashback that they were hinting at all season of Mando's parents hiding him in a cellar, and Death Watch actually saving them from the Separatists.
Going back 2 seconds, I suppose that means this kind of offshoot clan that doesn't follow the rules kept a registry of their clan members with official Mandalore?
I guess so.
Okay.
Must have been important at the time.
I guess so.
Or maybe it was something the Empire required.
Well, it would be before the Empire took over. They're implying that on Mandalore they had Din Djarin's name, which would mean that his Death Watch clan that rescued him kind of touches base with Mandalore?
I guess it makes sense. I mean, we know that bo-katan was kind of left as the steward of Mandalore at the end of the Clone Wars.
It's just all very confusing because bo-katan was with Death Watch, and it seems like Death Watch rescued them, yet she in Season 2 would be like, oh, we don't really... Those are kind of offshoot Mandalorians, and yet the offshoot Mandalorians did register with Mandalore and were part of Death Watch.
So somehow they splintered off at one point and Din went with them? I don't really... Hopefully,
I don't know.
Hopefully next season gets us some answers to that. But then Mando ends up making contact with IG-11 and learns Kuiil is dead, Grogu is safe. IG speeder races through town, killing a bunch of soldiers, causing a bunch of explosions, to meet up with the group. Mando and Greef come out of hiding, out of the cantina that they had taken refuge in, to kind of help provide cover to get IG into the bar with little baby Grogu, because obviously they can't just stay out in the open like that. It is not safe.
Yeah.
So Din decides, I'm going to grab the E-web and start shooting everybody.
Yeah, like he does in Episode 1.
It's a great plan, though, honestly, to grab that E-web. And it's working really, really well until Gideon looks over and blows up the power supply right in Din's face.
Yeah, that's bad.
Very bad.
Into his helmeted face, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it knocks him out. The group retreats back inside. IG uses his plasma torch to open up the grate into the sewer, but Mando is dying. So he's not doing so hot. Then Gideon has a flame trooper, and he's like, you know what you're going to do? Burn him out. He's going to burn him out. And Mando's like, leave me here. I want a warrior's death. And the flame trooper's like, hey, that door's still open. He walks up to the door, aims right at Grogu for reasons, and lets the fire go.
Grogu? Like, what is this?
Maybe
the flame trooper not?
Maybe he didn't get the memo about saving the baby.
I was just going to say, he didn't get the memo, did he? That he's not supposed to kill the baby?
He's like, I'll shoot at that thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's when Grogu once again shows his mettle. He stops the flames from coming forward, then reverses them and kills the trooper with it. Murder.
The hand trick.
The hand trick. And then he takes a little nap because he's all tired out. IG says he's going to stay with Mando while the rest of them start escaping into the sewer. And then IG's like, you know what? I'm going to take your helmet off and save you. And he's like, no, it's against the creed. No living thing can remove my helmet. And he's like, but I am not a living thing. He's like, oh, well, okay then. And he takes the helmet off, sprays a little Bacta on it, sticks his helmet back on.
Too bad Boba Fett wasn't here. He would have put him right in that Bacta tank. Din would have been back in action in no time.
Well, he slaps his helmet back on, and they head into the sewers as well. They're heading to the covert, which they then find out is gone, because there's a stack of armor and helmets just in a pile. Doesn't look so good.
No.
Then we see that the armor is still there. She's like, hey, yeah, after you left, the Imperials found us. Some of the covert may have escaped off-world, but she has no idea.
Paz got out of there real quick.
We know Paz got out of there, but we don't know how many others from the sect did.
Coward. Cough, cough, coward.
He's like, out, fam.
Yeah.
So she doesn't want to leave. She's salvaging the remains of their armor, melting it all down, and doing whatever armorers do with leftover armor, I guess. She also reveals that Grogu is a Jedi.
What?
A Jedi. That's
an ancient enemy.
The
from
ancient
like 10
enemy,
years ago.
Who is no longer your enemy, but your friend. He is now a foundling. No,
this one, he didn't say it was a friend. He said this one isn't an enemy.
Yeah.
So technically, Jedi's okay. Still bad.
But now it's a foundling in Din's care. She gives him a quest that he has to reunite Grogu with the Jedi or raise him. He gets options. He has to do one of those two things. She also gives him his signet, which is the Mudhorn. The Mudhorn, yeah. No and they're a clan of 2. She doesn't even want to be in their clan. Imperials, meanwhile, now have flooded the sewers. Armor's like, here, take this jetpack I made for you. Grab as much ammo as you can carry.
And, I don't think she made it. I think she just kind of took it from the pile.
Oh, I think she made it for him.
Because it was shiny?
It was shiny like he is.
I think
it's
she
brand new. She didn't take some, like, one that was left behind by a dead man.
She just took somebody left behind.
No, because it was too shiny. I think she retooled it for him.
Maybe she, like, re-armored it because she's an armorer?
Yeah, because it was too nice and shiny to be just, like, off the pile of the dead man.
Well, I don't think it was, like, just fresh off the pile, but I think she took one, like, I'm going to spruce this one up and say I made it for him.
Maybe she did, though.
Who knows?
She has a soft spot for him, I think.
The Rising Phoenix. Well, that's what she called it.
She
don't call
she
them
said,
jetpacks.
"Do you know she didn't call it a Rising Phoenix. Did you train in the ways of the Rising Phoenix?"
That's the jetpack.
It's just
a cool word for jetpack. Words.
Then we get a cool sequence where the armorer kills a squad of stormtroopers.
Best scene in the episode.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right.
I like that scene.
It's better than Grogu killing a flame trooper with his own flame?
Well, I mean, that's...
Better than Mando going E-Web crazy?
Yeah.
Better than the speeder of IG-11 racing through town killing people? Better than the stormtroopers shooting at a tin can that they can't hit? Sorry. Well, they arrive now at the lava flow, and they set sail, heading down the lava flow, because they want to get out to the plains where they can make it to Mando's ship. But then, of course, tragedy strikes them again as Mando goes, hey, that tunnel we're about to go through that leads us to freedom, it's surrounded by squads of stormtroopers. So then IG's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to walk out the tunnel, and I'm going to self-destruct. Because that is me fulfilling my mission of protecting the baby and not letting my manufacturer's secrets get out.
Yeah.
Mando's sad as he watches him walk through the lava and blow up all the stormtroopers. I think his hatred of droids has waned a bit.
Yeah.
Then when all seems well, Gideon arrives in his TIE fighter, flying around up there, kind of sending out some warning shots first, like, hey, I can hit you, but no, but warning shots. So then Mando gets to strap on his shiny new jetpack, even though he's got a concussion, and he goes flying off into the air pretty clumsily after Gideon.
Well, in theory, Gideon wouldn't want to hit them because of Grogu, right? Everybody seems to forget about Grogu when they're with the others.
Hey, he has pinpoint accuracy. He can tee them like womp rats and...
Tee them like womp
whatever,
rats.
You know what I'm saying.
Bullseye them.
Bullseye them like womp rats and just leaves the baby. But, so, Mando flies off clumsily into the air on his new fancy jetpack. manages to grapple his way onto the ship, attaches some explosives, jumps off of it, somehow makes it back to the ground without dying. Struggling with that jetpack.
Sure, yeah.
TIE fighter blows up. We win the day.
Yay.
Cara and Greef elect to stay at Navarro to kind of keep the town clean. And Mando decides, no, I'm going to take Grogu to find his people. That's what I had an agreement to do, my boss lady. And we all think all is over when Gideon's TIE. Zoom in. There's some Jawas. Zoom out. It's the Darksaber, because he cut his way out with it. Yeah. Looking all cool, and that's how it ends.
That is how it ends. That was quite the ending.
It is quite the ending.
Yeah. Well, I mean, overall, a good episode. A really good episode. Enjoyable episode. Some questions.
We made it through season 1.
Yeah. Some questions left from season 1. Just about some details.
We'll see if they're answered in season 2.
We will.
Which we should be putting out another one of these in a couple of days.
Yeah, we got to accelerate our plans because
it's gonna be
have
like 4
fallen behind.
a week.
Something like that, yeah, because we got to do the Book of Boba Fett episodes. I mean, the Mandalorian 2.5 episodes in the Book of Boba Fett.
Call them the right name, jeez.
The Mandalorian 2.5 episodes. They're not Book of Boba Fett episodes.
No, they're not.
But no, that wraps up season 1. Again, a good episode. I do have questions, little nitpicks, but that's me. And so now it's your turn to take to the comments below and tell us what you thought of the season finale of the first season of The Mandalorian, and let's talk some Star Wars. And until next time, thanks for watching.